Hello friends, welcome to the online lecture series. Today's topic is cell cultures. My name is Dr. Abhishek Sharma. I will take care for this topic. So let's begin. So before starting to the main topic, we should know first the definitions and the abbreviations used in the particular topic. So in the cell culture, first of all, we need to get the definition of it. So what is cell culture? We can define the cell culture as any method like surgical, mechanical or enzymatical by which we can isolate the cells from the organism and can place these cells, isolated cells, under suitable environmental conditions, generally called as in vitro, where they can grow and divide. Basically, it is a kind of scenario when we take an organism and we take out the organism cell in form of tissue or in form of particular organ of that tissue. This everything takes place inside a suitable sterile environment. Okay, so once we get the tissue or the organs, we use several methods like surgical methods, mechanical method, enzymatical methods that we will take care next time in the next slides. So if we use this kind of methods to remove the cells from the organs or the tissue and can culture them on a suitable culture media on a particular culture vessel, if we do that and the cells can grow and divide, then this entire scenario is called as the cell culture. So along with the definition of the cell culture, we should also know the definitions like primary cultures. What is the primary cultures? So once we have got the cells isolated from the organ or the tissue, that first culture is called the primary cultures. Okay, now every cell is having a definite lifespan like 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, whatever according to cells. That means before that day we have to subculture the cell. That means we have to take the cells from the first primary culture to the additional culture. So shifting of the cells from the first culture to the new culture vessel with the new media, that is called subculturing. That can be done for infinite times. Okay, now thing is that once the cells are having a specific lifetime, they are called finite cell line. This is the property of the normal cells, but sometimes the normal cells loses this property and becomes the transform or the cancer cells that we have discussed earlier in the class. So in that case, these cells becomes infinite. That means they loses their ability to control the growth. Now suppose if a B cell is having a lifespan of 8 days, suppose, but if it got transferred into the cancerous cell line, it will not die on the day 8. It will continues to survive 10 days, 12 days, 30 days until unless the media will not depleted. So if provided the fresh media, the cells can grow for immortal lifetime. These cells are called infinite cell line. Now one more term is there, encourage dependency and encourage independency. Now there is a property of normal cells that once they are put inside the culture vessels, they goes down attached to the surface of the culture vessels and grow and divide along with the surface of the culture vessels. They do not float or they do not comes out from the culture vessel base or surface. But some infinite cell cultures are having property, they do not behave like this. They can either grow on the surface or can grow on floating conditions. So once if the cell is growing over the surface, it is called as encouraged dependent cells, and this property is called encouraged dependency. And in the vice versa case where cell do not want to attach to the surface for the growth and division, it can be done inside the submerged or the floating condition, then that condition is called as the encouraged independency. So now we will talk about how we will initiate our primary culture. So as I told you earlier, there are some strategies like enzymatical mean, mechanical mean or the chemical mean by which you can utilize the different strategies to isolate the cells cultures from your tissue or the organ. So first of all, we'll take about the mechanical mean. The mechanical mean can be done by using sieve or by using syringe or by doing the vigorous pipetting. So again, very simple method is there. You have to take a small piece of the organ of the tissue inside a particular appendic tube in the buffer, and what you need to do, you need to take a pipette and vigorously doing the pipetting. What it will do, it will create a huge pressure on the tissue, like your buffer will strike again and again with your tissue, and it will put a mechanical pressure so that the cells will be separated out from the tissue. The thing is that this is very harsh method because it puts so much of a stress over your tissue, so that the survival rate of the cells those are coming out, it will be very reduced. By using sieve, it will be also again very hard. What we can do, we can take the sieve and we can mesh our tissue with the sieve, so that the small pieces of the tissues can be come out with some small or differentiated cells. Again, the thing is that the sieving will also put so much of mechanical stress and also damage the tissue as well as the cell, so that the survival rate of the cells will very low. Therefore, this method are generally not utilized inside the cell cultures. Now, second is by fine chopping. We can take a fine scissor or the fine knife with very sharp blade. We can take the tissue and we can scratch this fine uh, scissor and knife with that. This will allow the isolation of the cells from the tissue. But again, the thing is that it is same as harsh as the mechanical method, that will lead out to the very less survival cells. Okay, therefore it is also generally not utilized. These are the phenomena that are earlier used for the studies, but now chemical and the enzymatical degradations are used. Even chemical degradation methods are not so much preferable because chemicals are also harsh for the cells. The best utilized strategy is the enzymatic degradation. So once we see the structure of the tissue, what we found is that tissues are made up of cells, and cells are connected together with protein bindings, okay, as well as the collagenase fiber. So two enzymes are used. First is the trypsin, second is the collagenase. Okay, so both the enzymes are used to separate out cells by digesting that protein binding between the cells, so that the cells can be easily separated out. With trypsin, we can use the cold trypsin method and warm trypsin method, and with collagenase, simple collagen. What you need to do in this case is just take the tissue inside a pen drop, add your buffer plus your cold or warm trypsin or collagenase, incubate for overnight or specific time duration. After that duration, centrifuge the thing. Whatever comes into the suspension, take that suspension and culture to initiate the primary cells, because that suspension will have your cell suspension, whereas the pellet will have the tissue debris and the other dead products. Okay, therefore the enzymatic treatment provides the higher survivability of the cells, and therefore they are preferred so far. So now once you have obtained the primary culture, you can use this primary culture for the further experiments or the further national studies. Even the primary cultures can also be done in many ways as shown in the photographs. You can see here a 2D culture, a 3D culture. This is one of the advanced techniques generally now used to develop the skins or the organ for the implantation processes. Also the precise cut cultures specifically used for skin cultures, and sandwich culture, cancer stem cells culture. So all these cultures are generally based on the type of experiment you want to continue, but as once we have got the primary culture, we should move ahead with that. So before starting the lymphoid cell culture or the initiation of the lymphoid cell culture, we must know what is the lymphoid cells. In our body, there are some organisms that are responsible for the production of the blood cells, or in layman language can be called as the lymphoid cells. As we know, they are generally called as primary lymphoid organs and secondary lymphoid organs. Those are constitutes of your bone marrow, thymus and spleen. So cells derived from these particular organs, those are responsible for your immunity and blood circulations, are generally considered as the lymphoid cells. Lymphoid cells are also known as lymphatic tissue or the lymphoid cells. So lymphoid cells are generally divided in many kinds. So first we will talk about the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are the part of the WBCs, that is our white blood cells, also known as the leukocyte, and are of following type: T cells and B cells. As we know, T cells are the thymus dependent cells because they are developed and grown inside the thymus, whereas the B cell, that is bursa dependent cells, are developed and grown inside the bone marrow. That is why they are called B cell and earlier T cells. The T cells are responsible for the cellular immunity of our body, and they also constitutes almost 70% of our total lymphocytes. T cells are also divided into two parts: T helper cells and T cytotoxic cells, whereas the B cells are responsible for our antibody production. So along with T cell and B cell, there are much more cells. Those are considered as the important lymphoid cells. First is the macrophage, which we also known as the enlarged monocytes, part of the WBCs, that generally engulfs the microbes and the cellular debris for their digestion. And second are the reticular cells, those with the reticular fibers made up of collagenase, provide a condition or network of fibers where the lymphocytes and other cells can interact. Now we will talk about the primary lymphoid cell culture derivation. Now thing is that when the cells are under the in vivo condition, that means inside your body, the body provides the automatic conditions for the cell divisions. Inside the body, the mature cells do not undergo for their replication or their divisions. Their continuous supply is generally provided from the primary and the secondary lymphoid organism. But under in vitro condition, that means in our primary culture, it is not possible to provide such conditions. Okay, that means we have to induce the cell to undergo for the division. So the induction of the lymphoid cell under the in vivo condition, that means inside your body condition, can be achieved by antigens. However, under the in vitro conditions, we need certain specific compound. Those are also known as the mitogens, like PHA and PWM. We will see later about them. So these compounds induce the lymphocytes to undergo for the cell division. So now we will talk about the standard lymphoid culture. First of all, to generate the primary culture, we need the main explant or the source of the cells. So as we are talking about the lymphoid cell culture, that means we want the lymph tissue for our particular purpose. Here we will talk about the culture of blood cells, because we can isolate these T cells, B cells and other cells from the blood. So here we will take blood as our main sample. So generally the blood samples can be taken out from adults as well as the fetal or the neonatal, depending upon your experimental purpose. For adults, generally we take 5 to 10 ml of blood within the heparin vial, so that blood will not coagulate. Same case, fetal and neonatal cases, we take only 1 to 2 ml in the same heparin vial. So once you have got collected your sample, you can preserve that for the further study or for further culture. Now for culture, the main and the important thing is your culture media. First is the sample culture, what you need to culture. Second condition, the sterile condition, and third is the main culture media that will provide the basic supportive growth nutrient medium to your cell to survive and to divide. So cell culture media is one of the main component of your cell culture strategies. In animal cell culture, there are many basal culture media. One of the main important is RPMI 1640, that is having the less thymidine content. This thymidine content is responsible to induce the replication inside the cell. The basal mediums are generally supported by the serum. So in the animal cell culture, we generally use the fetal calf serum with the 5 to 30% concentration compared to media. That means if you are taking 100 ml of media, so in 100 ml 70% will be your basal media and 35 to 30% of your 5 to 30 ml of your fetal calf serum. Generally, to avoid the contamination, we also use the antibodies. Generally for penicillin and streptomycins are used with the concentration of 100 mg per ml for gram positive and gram negative bacteria respectively. Also we need unstable amino acid like glutamine, L-glutamine specifically, for the growth of the cells. Also the Hebs buffer or the sodium bicarbonate buffers are also required for the cellular respirations. And the PHA, that is your phytohemagglutinin, that will induce your cell to undergo the cell divisions. So all these compounds generally make an ideal culture media to culture your blood cells. So once you have your sample collection, and second, once you have your culture media, then you can go for your primary cell culture initiation from the lymphoid cells. So now we will do the primary culture of lymphoid cells. So this is generally basically a total lab method. It depends upon type of experiments, also your requirement, but I am here elaborating one very simple and layman method. So what we will do, first we will generally take 10 ml of the complete media, the media that we have discussed in the previously. So we take 10 ml of that particular media in a culture vessel, or generally called as the universal culture bottle. Then what we will do, we will take 8 to 10 drops of the isolated whole blood sample that we have collected as a blood sample, and we will mix this blood sample within that universal culture bottle having our complete media. We will put this particular bottle inside the incubator and will incubate at 37 degrees centigrade for 72 hours. Now what will happen after 72 hours? We will go for the first subculturing. Generally what we think is that after 24 hours or 48 hours, cell undergo a replication. Okay, because here pH is there, so your cells will be induced and will go for the cell division. So at 72 hours your cells will be in a quite higher capacity for the subculturing. So what first we will do for subculturing, we generally add slightly enzyme, trypsin enzyme, that helps the cell that has grown over your culture bottle vessel to separate out from the bottom. As we discussed earlier, that the normal cells are having tendency of encourage dependent growth. That means they grow by touching or by adhering to the surface of the culture vessel. So we need to remove the cells from the culture vessel's substrate. Therefore we will add the enzyme trypsin and we will shake the bottle slightly for some time, and we will take out the cells and will transfer it to the fresh new media in a new culture vessel. So likewise we initiate our primary lymphoid cell culture, and by regular subculturing we maintain it for the experimental purpose. Now if your aim is to check that what kind of cells we have isolated and what kind of cells are growing inside that culture vessel, so if you want to check them on your slide under the microscope, we need a separate strategy. For that, what we do, we generally use 0.1 ml of colcimid in 1 μg per ml concentration and add it to the culture media having the grown primary cell cultures and incubate the total culture for 37 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, what we will do, we harvest the cells by the centrifugation and resuspend these cells in the hypotonic solution of 0.0075 molar capable KCl solution. Once we have done it, we will add the fixative, that is made up of methanol and acetic acid in 3:1. This step is again repeated by one more time. Again it is centrifuged and same cells were suspended in the hypotonic KCl solution, and again the fixative is added and now is stored in -20 till you want to check the cells under the microscopes. So likewise you can generate the primary lymphoid organ cultures, as well as if you want to see them under the microscope, you can check accordingly. So this is how we complete our this particular topic of lymphoid cell primary culture generation. Thanks for watching. I hope you will enjoy it.